You won't be able to hear it, Danny, but you'll be able to hear it during the podcast. It'll sound good. 30 seconds. John, that guy's an idiot. That guy says knows it all. There are all programs out there beyond the VA. Many nonprofit. But five, four, three, two, one. Mike's hot. All right. Welcome to another edition of the Beer 30 coming at you from two different states. We are two veterans with one mission to show there are more programs beyond the VA. Hi, my name is Joel.
And this is Danny.
Thanks for tuning in. Remember, before we get started, oh, you know what, Danny? Hold on just a second.
I do not know what he is doing right now.
Okay, I'm an idiot.
Okay, tell us something we don't know.
Ha ha. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, before we get started, there are a number of ways you can hear us. If you would like to know more, just go to our Facebook page, Beer 30 Show, or our website, thebeer30show.com, and you can get all the details there. Remember, if you'd like to chime in at any time, you can call 720 316 0368 or visit us on our website and you can stream and chat with us live. So, without further ado, we're going to get started. Our special guest today is going to be Mike Merritt, and he is going to answer all the tax questions that you have, the hard ones, the difficult ones. Um, Danny, I didn't know this, but when I talked to him Tuesday to find out, because we were originally supposed to, I don't know if you remember her from high school or not, but Laura Kaler, she was going to be the tax person that was going to come on the air with us. And unfortunately, her mom died that night that I asked her to. So I kind of felt led just to say, you know what, we'll find somebody else. Don't worry about it. You've got enough to deal with because um, no one, no one can train you or prepare you, Danny, for the death of a parent. I lost my mom, and Danny, you know me, man. I cried and everything for about 3 weeks straight because I was so close to my mom. So I knew what she was going through. That's the reason why I told her, you know what, we'll find somebody else. Uh, don't worry about it. Um, so yeah, she bless her heart, she was gonna come on, and I told her not to worry about it. So Mike Merritt, he is gonna be coming on, and when I talked to him Tuesday, I didn't know this, but did you know that because of something or another, the government uh, gave us an extension? We don't have to have our taxes due until Monday now.
Yes, unless you're like some other people. Me. Get them done like right away. You don't have to worry about that deadline.
Right, right, right. Well, I mean, I'm just and that's funny that you say you're like you don't have to worry about your that deadline, dude, because you're like my wife. You're the biggest procrastinator that I know.
Well, when it comes to money and to screwing the government over, you know where I am, buddy.
Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. So it should be a really good show, and then after we talk to our special guest, then me and Danny will go over our our events that we're gonna have today. So it should totally be awesome. Danny, you won't be able to hear it because unfortunately, with the Skype call or even with a telephone call, you won't. Oh, you messaged me. Oh, funny, huh? Funny, ha ha ha. Funny. Danny just messaged me that he can see the dip in my teeth. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was the wrong soundbite. Anyways, what I was getting ready to say is, so I got this sound bite thing that I'm working with, and there it is, the not funny sound bite. When me and you talk, you won't be able to hear it, but you'll be able to hear it on the podcast. And it's just going to be like funny bits when you or me, when we talk to somebody, you'll be able to hear it. So that's pretty cool. So, Danny, Jeremy is writing. If you guys are live, I'm getting no sound on Twitch.
Okay, well, let me check this out because it was working.
Okay. And I mean, I don't know if because of the delay he's talking about with the Twitch thing, if there's like no intro music, and there's a reason for that. But he should be able to hear us talking, of course.
Oh yeah, I believe that. Yeah, I can hear us on Twitch just fine. So, um,
There it is. Okay. I bet you anything he was talking about like the intro and stuff like that because it, it, it was okay. I'll tell you what I would have to do if we wanted to listen to the intro and all that stuff with the speaker. So with the headset, so there's not an echo because we remember about the echo. What I literally would have to do is, I know you're gonna make fun of this. I just know it, Danny. Don't you dare. Uh, I would have to literally pull out of the speaker earphone hole every single time and then plug it back in every single time to be able to cause no no echoing thing. So it's just a lot easier for me just to keep the thing plugged in. And like I said, if we want sound or whatever with Twitch, you'll be able to cut and splice it and stuff. It's not like people's really going to be hurting.
wait a second, Joel. Wait. Did you just do what I told you to do like 5 months ago in order to
What?
fix the echo
What?
by putting the headset on? Sorry, I had to. You know what? You said I had to say something. I had to say something. Yes. Yes. There it is.
Yeah. Well, anyways, so that's the thing. If you are streaming live on MBR Radio, or if you are streaming, we now have a Beer 30 Show network. So there's a number of ways now. You can listen to it on that channel. You can listen it to the MBR Radio app. But if you're streaming, you'll be able to hear the whole show, everything. So just watch the Twitch video, turn the volume down, and listen to our streaming, and you'll be able to catch everything. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and go to commercial, and when we come back, we're gonna find the tricks to taxes. Stay with us, everybody. 17. Three, two, one. And this is we're coming back with Chris over you, Chris Daughter. All right, and we are back. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Um, we had a few glitches, but everything's working right now. Unfortunately, with the glitches, we had to make our fans listen to more commercials than usual, but that's okay. We on the line we have everybody's best friend when it comes April time frame. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mike Merritt. Mike, how are you? And thank you so much for joining us.
I am fine, Danny and Joe. Thanks for having me. It's a great, great day for us tax preparers. So I look forward to giving you guys some good information.
Awesome, awesome. So go ahead, Danny.
Oh, okay. I forgot I was here. Um, so, so Mike, how are you today, buddy?
I'm just fine. How are you, Danny?
Not too bad. Tax time always seems to be a stressful time for many, many, many different people out there. As I was telling Joel before we started this show, he was mentioning about how a lot of people procrastinate and wait till the last minute. And I tell him I get my taxes done the day I get them. So,
Yeah, yeah. That must mean that you're getting a massive refund.
oh, every year, yes.
There you
So,
go.
so could you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with the taxes?
Sure, absolutely. So let me start by saying that I am a proud vet as well. Served from 1985 to 1990 in the 11th Armored Cavalry Regiment. So any of those former troopers out there, I say alons to you. Um, so since then, I have been a tax preparer. I own several Liberty shops here in the Denver metro area, and so every year about this time, my office is swamped with people that are looking to get as much out of the government as possible, and we help with that program. So
That is
Awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, that's very cool. That's very cool. And one thing that I got to bring up is I don't know if you knew this, Danny, but every year Liberty Tax, I don't know if it's a business, if it's an individual business, or if it's all of your locations, but you guys do a free tax thing for military and first responders for like I think it's a week or something,
that's correct.
or do
Yeah,
I have that wrong?
every March, we dedicate a week. One week is to veterans and first responders. Another week is to all our educating friends out there, and another week is to healthcare workers. So March is essentially our free month.
Yeah, I thought that I remembered that correctly. I wasn't for sure,
Absolutely,
so I thought
absolutely.
maybe
Very
I would.
important that we give back. So
Yeah, I
that's
thought
part of
maybe
our
I would
duty.
ask that, and I thought maybe I would, put out a plug there or whatever, so that not only you could help vets, but people can see that you support military and first responders doing that. So that always seems to help drum up some business. Some. Are there any benefits of filing early? And if so, what happens if I file after the deadline, Mike?
So there's not any particular benefit to filing early, except that if you're entitled to a refund, obviously you get your refund early. Generally speaking, in the tax industry, the early filers are the ones that are getting really big refunds anyway. So, starting out the gate in January, we're starting returns and we're belting out refunds, and those are usually the big refunds. Later in the season, that's usually the folks that, are either not getting much of a refund or are going to owe. So that's usually when we are actually doing our best work, is later in the season. In terms of filing after the deadline, you can certainly file after the deadline. If you're due a refund, there is no penalty. If you're due to owe, then the government will penalize you. It's usually a minimal penalty. The IRS is not nearly as militant as they used to be, but you will suffer at least some part of the penalty, some penalty for filing later. But if you're due a refund, no, the government is more than willing to just, wait on paying you back your money. They're very patient on that.
Oh, no way. The government worries if you don't pay them, but if they have to
Yeah,
pay you,
yeah,
they're just like,
exactly.
oh, just take your time, buddy. That's all good.
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like the mil. It's funny. I don't know if my dad's listening. If he's listening, I'll get a "I hate you" email or something. But it's funny because my dad, he called me at one time and he's like, "Well, I just don't get it. I got a no pay due with the VA," and I'm like, "What do you mean you got no pay due?" And he's like, "Well, I was supposed to get this much money and I only got this much money. It's like, what the heck?" And I'm like, "Well, did the VA overpay you?" And then he's like, "Well, I did get like $2,000 extra or something crazy like that, Danny." Okay. And I'm like, "Okay, so you got the 2,000 some dollars and you kept it to yourself?" And he's like, um, yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
I'm like,
gave it to me. It was free money.
right? I'm like, "Look, if you know that you're not supposed to get it, if it's like out of the blue, like I'm going to school and I got this huge amount for BAH. And
Sure.
before I go out and spend it, I'm going to hold on to it, Danny, because I think they overpaid me. And if they
Well,
overpaid me, I don't want to get screwed. You know what I'm saying?
that's
So,
why I always tend to find things out before I get paid, Joel. That way I know how much I'm supposed to be receiving. But like I said, when you got your BAH earlier, you didn't get it as soon as you should have, so you should have gotten a good amount because you would have gotten
oh,
back
okay.
pay plus you would have gotten the back pay for when you started school all the way up to the first month that you're actually getting paid for it. So if
Danny's
I,
all over it.
oh yeah, I'm all about
Yeah,
that
Danny's
government
on
money.
it like a bad rash.
Yeah, see, I've been going to school using the GI Bill for 4 years almost. So um, actually at the near the end of my thing. I've gotten my bachelor degree. Now I'm in school again using the last 5 months and 22 days that I had. So
Well done. Well done.
taking as much benefit of the government paying for my stuff as much as
Understood.
possible.
My degree was paid for entirely by the GI Bill.
Yes, it was mine and that and a license I'm getting here for massage therapy soon.
All
So
right, I like it.
it's amazing, amazing. So uh, I'm sure most people know the answer to this question, but it's a question we're supposed to ask anyway. Uh, what's the difference between state tax and federal tax?
Right. So obviously, generally speaking, it's in the amount of money that you get back. But more specifically, on the federal level, you usually get a lot more credits, like the Earned Income Credit, Additional Child Tax Credit, American Opportunity Credit. Those kind of credits are all refundable credits. And so what that means is that as long as you have earned income, you qualify for those credits. And even should your tax burden be zero, if you qualify for those credits, they will still come to you. So you get them in the form of a refund. Most states don't have a whole lot of credits. Basically, it's just a proration of your tax rate. So if you owe, or if you made $10,000, then you owe the state, $250 point blank. There's no credits to gain from there. So that's usually the difference between the federal government or the federal tax refund and the state tax refund.
Interesting, interesting. And like Deanie said, I'm sure a lot of people already know that, but just so you know, Mike, we have questions that are already lined up so that me and Danny don't walk all over each other. Like he asked this question and I asked this question.
Sure.
And for listeners at home, this is the time. If you have questions about taxes, this is the time to write in the chat when we're streaming so that we can answer those questions.
Sure.
And
Actually, I've got a question for one of our listeners. I've been waiting for it's kind of like the last question we had, but I can use it now. So when you're somebody's filing a taxes and you're claiming dependent status, housing status, and all that kind of stuff. Um, this person's question is there uh, if he found a credit that he didn't claim from the last year, is it too late to amend the return?
No. If you have a credit that you didn't claim last year for whatever reason, you can go back for 3 years and claim that credit as a refund. After 3 years, you lose it. But if it's within 3 years and you're entitled to a refund, the government will pay it, and you can amend up to 3 years.
Okay, okay. Well, hopefully that answered your question, listener. Another question is there one thing more than any other that will trigger an audit?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Anytime the most abused credit is the earned income credit because that's what usually gets people the largest refund. So anytime that the earned income credit is maxed out, it will probably at least draw the eyes of the IRS. The biggest thing that the IRS looks for is to establish proper residency of any children that you're claiming as dependents on your tax return. So as long as you have your ducks in a row in terms of if your children are your children and they lived with you, you're usually okay in the eyes of the IRS. So that would be the one thing that we would look for as a tax preparer, is that your children belong to you.
Okay. So here's a quick question. I'm just kind of going through a lot of our questions because I'm going to
Sure.
try to get mine done, and then Joel can do his real quick, and because we got like maybe 6 or 7 minutes left. Um,
yeah,
uh, Now, since the disability, if a veteran gets a disability, it's
Hmm.
tax deducted. Well, they don't take taxes out of it. So does
Right.
that make it a tax exempt?
Yeah, disability is not considered taxable income on any level, whether it's veteran or civilian. So disability is not taxable income.
okay, so I have a question
Sure.
then on my side.
Mhm.
If that's true, then when you're married, why do I need to file my SSDI? Because they tax on that.
They should know. So who's collecting the SSDI? Your spouse
No,
or
it
yours?
would well, it would be me, yeah. Social
Okay.
Security disability and I didn't have an issue until I got married. And then once I got married, now they're taxing me on it. Like literally I could get in trouble for this, Mike, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. For the longest time before I got married, I never filed my taxes because I'm like, well, I don't pay any taxes, so I don't need to worry about that. Well,
Right.
then the first year that I got married and I filed my taxes, we got audited. And then we got audited the second year. And
Wow.
I was amazed. I'm like, I didn't know you could get audited when you're as poor.
You must make somebody mad, Danny.
I know, right?
Well, that was Joel. I don't make anybody mad if I don't
Joel.
have to. When it comes to my
Oh
taxes,
my
I'm
God.
always getting money back because I always claim zero
It
on
just
everything.
doesn't matter.
But but yes,
Wow. Um, well, I don't know why they audited you, but that sucks.
Yeah,
Um,
literally.
um, in terms of the SSDI, the only thing that I can think of why you would be getting taxed on any of it at all would be maybe your AGI, your adjusted gross income, is getting thrown too high because of your spouse's income. But it would be more based on your spouse's income than on your SSDI. I would definitely want to take a look at your tax return if I ever saw it, because you should not get taxed on your SSDI. The only thing I can think of, like I said, is that it's throwing your AGI above above a taxable level. So they're
Yeah, I
basing
mean,
your tax rate on that.
maybe that's the case, but if it's above $10,000, then I mean, who here in Colorado, if you make $10,000 a year, Danny, you live in a cardboard box.
That's correct.
well, I don't know about that, Joel, because my wife's still military, and I have nothing that's taxable right now on my side. Um,
Huh. Interesting.
so I have my
Interesting.
own personal question. Since Joel got to ask a personal question, I get to ask a personal question.
Right.
Sure.
So me and my wife, we normally file online through a website since it's free for us and everything.
Sure.
And we normally get a nice sizable tax return, which is why we do it as soon as we get our money or
Sure.
get our paperwork. But the one thing we always procrastinate on is our state taxes.
Okay.
And the reason why is because this is one of those questions I would like to clear up for a lot of listeners. My wife is from Missouri, and I'm from
Okay.
wherever state I'm living in at that point in
Sure.
time. And so when we're filing taxes and filing jointly, especially through a website or even just in general, um, there becomes a big deal since we're both from different states.
Right. It's tough
And
for this website to delineate who
oh
belongs
yeah,
to
oh
what.
yeah, and it's terrible because we can't file online. We actually have to fill out the state return on paper.
Yes.
And because if we don't, then they think that I need to pay Missouri state tax. I'm like, wait,
That's
I'm not a
correct.
resident, buddy.
That's right.
So,
That's correct.
so anyway, can you explain the issues with that and the proper way of doing it? Because every year we do this, we have to fill it out on paper. We send it off to Missouri, and then they always come back to my wife saying, "You did it wrong again."
You got screwed.
But she does exactly what they tell them to do every single time, and then they're like, "You did it
Sure.
wrong regardless. We just don't want to give you
Sure.
money."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, that's the only, and I mean, I encourage if you are confident in doing your taxes, you should do it online. I have no problem with that. But that's the one snafu is that you can't get states done generally online. Obviously, in our software, we have the ability to separate taxpayer from spouse and determine who was a resident of what state and who was a non-resident and so on and so forth. And that all gets calculated as part of our software. Unfortunately, there's no easy answer if you do it online. You're doing it exactly right. You're doing a paper return, which is exactly what you have to do. But otherwise, there's no simple solution. I will, in my office, if somebody has done their state taxes online or their federal taxes online, I will still do their federal or their state taxes here in my office at no charge because it takes us like less than 5 minutes to do it. So, but I can't speak for everybody, but I'm just saying in my office, that's what we would do. If you filed through TurboTax or whatever, couldn't do your state, we'll do it for you at no charge.
Awesome. Totally awesome. That gets the Chris Farley awesome. Unfortunately, Danny, you can't hear it, but like I said, you'll be able to hear it in the podcast, and if you're listening on the radio, you'll be able to hear it on the radio. Uh, well, Danny, I think we've 20 questioned him to death. If you have any questions, because I don't I don't see any more questions from our listeners, and I haven't received any messages. If you have another question, go ahead and ask it, Danny, and we'll wrap it off on that question. If
Yes,
you don't,
yes, I do have one more question,
okay.
Mike. How can we get another audit on Joel?
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, that depends. Which one was in the Army?
Joel.
Well, then he's free and clear for the rest of his life. I'm
Uh,
calling in on you, Danny.
okay. Well, you know, us Navy guys, we're on point. Bring it.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that being said, we appreciate you coming on, Mike, and talking to us about the whole tax thing because everybody's scared of taxes.
Yeah,
And
don't be afraid. Don't be
yeah,
afraid. And listen, the one thing I'll tell all your listeners is that if you get a letter from the IRS, answer the letter. Don't ignore it. Just answer it. That's the best advice I can ever give anybody.
all right, there you go. There you heard it. Before you go, let's give you more of a shout out, Mike. Tell them the location where you're at and your phone number in case they want to get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So I'm at Liberty Tax in Aurora. My cross streets are Montville and Fulton. Call me with any questions, 303-364-3532. We'll answer anything, and you're good to go.
All right, everybody. And just so you know, because this is a national radio station, just so you know, that is Aurora, Colorado. But I'm sure that Mike can set you up with the right address or the right people if you live out of state. So,
Absolutely. I can
Mike,
get you in
thanks
the
for
right
coming
direction.
on. We really appreciate it, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a good one, and we'll send you these links after we get done tonight.
Sounds good.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. So that was great. I tell you what, we try not to keep the interviewer on for very long, but we have to take breaks every once in a while. And we kept him for like the longest that we could, Danny, especially with the issues that we had earlier. But that's okay. We're gonna go on commercial, and when we come back, we're going to recap what we talked about, and then we're going to find out what rants we have today. Don't go away, everybody. Stay tuned.
Founder of Adaptive Adventures, and you're listening to the Beer 30 Show with Danny and Joel.
All right, and we are back, everybody. And yeah, I heard a little bit of a echo, but not too bad that time. I just thought about this, Danny, that I'm like, oh, before I get on the horn, I need to shut the speaker off and then put it back on. So that's okay. It'll just take some getting used to. So just to recap, everybody, thank you for staying tuned. You are listening to the Beer 30 Show with Danny and Joel on NBR Radio, Radio with the Reason, and our new channel that just it just came out yesterday because I just created it yesterday. The Beer 30 Show, it's JKH. I named it after my mom, Danny. JKH, the Beer 30 Show Network. And what that's going to entail, just so you don't know, Danny, because I hadn't talked to you about it, I'm going to be playing unsigned bands, people that you might, you don't know of, so I won't have to pay royalties or whatever. So if you're in a band and you want your music played on the air, get it to me. Not only will we play it on that channel, NBR Radio's channel, I'll play it on MHU at school on their radio station as well. So bunch of apps going out just so that you can listen to us. And when the and when I'm able to, we're going to get all the podcasts and put it on. So it's like every 20 songs, you'll hear a Beer 30 Show episode. So that, if you don't want to download the podcast and you want to check in a couple of times to see if we talk to, the nonprofit, it will only be the nonprofit that we post on that podcast. So it'll be about 17, 20 minutes, not very long, but you'll be able to tune in and you will get Danny 24 hours a day.
You want to get me 24 hours a day? Is that what I just heard, Joel?
I'm just saying that, listeners will be able to get you 24 hours a day. That's all I was saying.
Oh.
So how are we doing on Twitch anyways? I haven't really checked on it.
Oh, we're not too bad. We have Jeremy and some others that never come up.
Okay.
So they never talk to us. Apparently me and Jeremy sit here and talk back and forth and make jokes on one another, and nobody else really talks because they're probably intimidated. They're afraid that we're going to make fun of them. Who knows?
Who knows? Well, what did we have a lot of listeners before I talked? Because I can shut up again.
Actually, yeah, we had about 25, and then you started talking, and now we're down to 3. Waiting for that one to sink in. That's a joke, Joel.
Yeah. Yeah. I was.
Me and Joel have this inside thing. We talk about listeners and when they come on and when they go off, and it has really no effect. But we tend to have more listeners when Joel's not talking, and it's a joke. Okay, so don't get upset about it. But it's not because of that. A lot of people want to listen to the interview. So in the first 10 minutes of the show, we'll have the most listeners. Joel will be talking, doing the intros and everything, and then they go away, and they tend to come back when I start talking again. But it's mainly because we're in the interview at that point in time. So
talk about having a complex, No, it's okay. It's all right. Well, if you are listening at home, we really appreciate you listening, and we had some good advice and some good information from Mike, the tax expert, and we even told some people that they give free tax service to military and first responders in the month of March. So I know a lot of people didn't know that, and that's I think that's totally awesome that they do that for us.
Yeah,
So
I didn't know about the whole that's a 2 minute warning type thing. So I'll talk about that later.
yeah, yeah,
I learned something today, Joel. It's
yeah,
rare, but I learned something.
right, right.
So,
Well,
with
Dan,
that being said, I think it's time for our.
yes, it's time for clearing the air. All right, so you didn't hear it because my speaker evidently didn't play. I gotta work on that. It's okay. Uh, but we got the intro, and once again, Clearing the Air is brought to you by Tia for the Troops. Divots can be replaced, freedoms cannot. One of our main title sponsor. Um, they asked me today if NBR got the check to get the computer, and I told them, yeah. Right now, our bosses working a deal because computers are expensive, especially Mac, and the sound quality and the video quality and everything, Danny. Once you get that Mac, oh my gosh, it makes a huge difference, believe it or not. It's funny. Last week, I was on the air, and Jeremy told me he didn't know what I did, but like the lighting and stuff in the background of me was incredibly brighter. Is it still brighter today?
It brightens up and dims out throughout the show.
Oh, okay. All right. I was gonna say because I bought these new light bulbs in Home Depot, and they're a little bit more pricier than regular ones because I wanted to get more light. So that's the reason why I was asking.
So, Joel, tell me your rant for the day. I want to know your rant. We're at that segment, and I want to know what you got.
Okay, so my rant of the day is that procrastination. It irritates me to the point to no end that people procrastinate to the point where if they don't do their job, I'm not able to do mine. Um, I was in the radio station a couple of days ago, and this friend of mine that works at the radio station, she comes to me and she's like, I can't stand it that I get off at 5 o'clock and I'll get the paper that I have to type up at 4:55 when it's due. And there's so many people out there that I get so upset with that, okay, this is the time. Like, I'll be on the radio, and the person that takes my place, they'll literally get there like 1 minute till. And when I'm like, okay, are you ready? No, I still got 1 minute. Seriously, I need to tell you what not to do and what's going on. And it irritates me to no end. I know a lot of people procrastinate because my wife does that. You know, when I yell at her about it, she's like, hey, at least I'm not late. No, but it just drives me wild. And one of the reasons why it drives me wild, to be honest with you, Danny, is because I've got traumatic brain injury. So I'm not able to do it. So it kind of makes me jealous at times. Because with my traumatic brain injury, if I don't do it like right then and right there, it's not because I'm impatient. It's because if I don't do it, I'll forget about
Mm-hmm.
it. So that's my rant. You can tell me what you think about it, and then I'd like to know what your rant of today is, Danny.
Well, with the procrastination issue, I can see how that could be a thing that's annoying at times. I procrastinate a lot. You know that by now.
Yeah.
I tend to procrastinate. At least when I was in college, I would always do my paper the day that it was due. Um, I have all week to do it, but no, that last 2 hours is when the best papers got knocked out.
Or when you're at school and you like wait until the last day and cram for a test.
Yeah.
That's always popular too.
Yeah, well, like with at my school so far, I'm actually doing pretty good on my tests. I've had 4 tests so far. I've aced 100% 3 of them, and one of them has a 96. So
That's awesome.
I'm doing pretty good. Like I said, I'm a prodigy in my field. Oh,
Oh wow.
I'm great at rubbing people, Joel.
Uh,
But so anyway, but yeah, procrastination can be an issue. All right, so this is something that I've been noticing more and more, especially at school. Um, here is my rant of the day, or one of I have two. I have two rants today for you, Joel, and this is the first
okay.
one. The first
Oh,
one
hold
is
on. Before you say it, I keep forgetting I got to do this. Uh, hit, I just hit the bell. Okay, go ahead, Danny. I just wanted to make sure that you got the proper introduction this time. I got to do better. Next week, just say, Joel, hit it, bell, and I'll hit the bell. You won't hear it, but our listeners will be able to hear it. So go ahead.
all right, Joel Bell,
Yeah, I hit it.
procrastinator. Um, so I, with my school, since I'm at a beauty school, and we have the massage area on like one side of the school. The other side of the school is like the whole beauty side aspect. All right,
Right.
so I hate it when I go on a break at school. It's like my breaks, I like to relax. Like I'm sure you on your breaks, you want to just grab some air, maybe just chill out for a second, right, and shut your brain down for 5 minutes, right?
Right.
Yeah. So we do our breaks. I'll go outside, and um, the since I'm go to school with so many females. What do females bring to the table, Joel? Gossip. Gossip like crazy. I can't go anywhere in that school without hearing about what this girl did or what that girl did or who this girl's doing stuff with and oh my god, they took my stuff and oh my god, they took my stuff and okay, I'm getting tired of hearing about it to be honest, and I kind of want to just like enjoy my breaks. And I've gotten to the point where I kind of just want to sit down and just stay in my classroom now because everybody else leaves except for me and the teacher, and the instructor's sitting there, and we're talking. We'll talk about like I don't know video games because she's a gamer,
Yeah.
or we'll talk about Game of Thrones or Lord of the Rings or something of that nature.
Is that one of the reasons why when we was talking about like news stuff, you kind of wanted to steer away from the ET stuff because you was listening to that stuff constantly at uh at school, finding out who had their baby. Which I don't know if you knew this. Then this it's kind of a new thing, but this is funny. Guess who is guess who's getting ready to run in a congressional running in Florida?
Who? Who, Joel?
Tim Tebow.
Really?
Yes, Uh, One thing that I find neat is when you go to Facebook, and if you go to newsfeed and you go onto the search bar right on top of it, and you click it, there's like a list of different things that are trending. There's the US Army, Pete's Dragon, KFC Australia, Chris Bosch, Zach Brown, all that. I mean, just a, a bunch of different trends, and it's kind of interesting to see what's trending. And one of the trends yesterday I read was something about JJ Watt was getting in some kind of a relationship.
Hmm.
So it's kind of fun. But I didn't mean to scare off the topic, but it's funny that you brought that up because, man, people cannot get enough of, star gossip.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm just like you, man. I can't stand it.
All right. So give me a bell. Give me a bell.
Bell.
Bell is done.
Hold on a second.
No, his bell is not
Bell.
done. More cowbell. Um,
There you go.
here's another one. Okay, here's my other rant of
Okay.
the day because I can always find something to rant about.
All right. After this, we will
Cut to our two
go to
minute warning.
commercial and then come back with a
Yeah.
2 minute warning.
So when you or somebody you're trying to get a hold of, say you're trying to call somebody, and you don't get a hold of them, and then, so they try to call you back, and you're like, crap, my phone's right here. So you can't reach your phone in time to call them back, or to like answer it, and all of a sudden it
Yeah.
stops ringing, and you're like, crap. So you pick up the phone and you call them, and then they don't answer. Like you literally call the moment the last ring ended, and you picked it up, and there was nobody there, and then you're like, crap, let me call this person. So you call them within 5 seconds, and then they don't answer their phone. It's like, dude, okay, come on. All right, I know in those 5 seconds you do not put your phone down and go save the damn planet.
Right. Oh no, the worst one for me is when you text somebody and or no, they text you and you call them and they don't answer the phone. And that's okay because sometimes people are in meetings, etc., etc. But then they don't text you back, hey, sorry, I can't talk because I'm in class, or sorry, I can't talk because, I'm at work or at the station or something like that. Like me and you, we're good. We don't have that issue.
Yeah, no, no.
But I don't know how many times I've called somebody right after they text me or right after they message me on Facebook and then they don't answer the phone. So I
Yeah.
know exactly
Or
what you mean.
here's one.
Irritates.
Here's one. Okay, I was talking to a friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a few years, and we had made a time. He's like, I got my kids right now. It's kind of hard to talk. So tomorrow I don't have work. I don't have my kids. Give me a call tomorrow afternoon to evening, and we'll catch up and we'll talk. So I call.
Right.
There's no answer. A couple hours later, I call again. There's no answer. A couple hours later, I call again. There's no answer. I'm like, hey, dude, hey, you told me to call between these times. I'm trying to get a hold of you to catch up. What's up? No response on text message. I'm like, okay, dude. You know what? I'm about to throw my damn phone out the window. I'm,
Right?
I'm starting to hate right now. You, you better you better stick to your plans. And I guess that kind of goes to that pet peeve of mine. If you say you're gonna do something, do it, or you're gonna piss me off.
Right.
So
Well, with that being said, we are going to go on commercial real quick, and we will be right back real quick. So do not go away. Stay with us, everybody.
성숙해 보이지만 놀 땐 노는 여자 이때다 싶으면 묶었던 머리 푸는 여자 가렸지만 웬만한 노출보다 야한 여자 그런 감각적인 여자 나는 선호해 점잖아 보이지.
All right, and we are back, and we were rocking. Let me tell you. God, I love this new sound system. So when we left off, we not only recapped on what we talked about and what rants we got. You can go to thebeer30show.com, or it will be posted on our Facebook page later on the podcast. So, Danny, with
Yeah.
that being said, it is a 2-minute warning.
Ooh.
Call for alcohol. It's the 2-minute warning. Time to wrap it up with Danny and Joel.
All right, the 2-minute warning is brought to you by nobody still, because we're still looking for a sponsor. We should be getting a new sponsor here soon. The grant or whatever was wrote up, Danny, and what's going to happen is military guys that follow under their guidelines, when we do an interview with them, they're going to get paid to do that interview,
Mm-hmm.
and they will they'll be sponsoring that hotline. So once everything's cleared and once it's good to go, then I'll announce that, and I'll let everybody know. So, Danny, what did you learn today?
You know what? I had learned something today, but I completely forgot what I learned.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I learned that you got audited twice.
Yeah, okay. Well, I learned that we shouldn't be getting audited because you can't tax disability in anything. So y'all have to definitely ask questions to H&R Block, because that's who we had our taxes done.
Yeah, we do
So
ours on H&R Block on the website. That's one of the things I did learn.
but
That you can go back and change your statuses or claim extra things up to 3 years prior. So yeah.
interesting. Yeah. Like I said, I think it was great information. Everybody, we're running out of time. We got to get off here. But just so you know, that next Monday, Military Motivation Monday, the nonprofit of the week, and I just had it written down, and the dog drug it away, evidently. It's a National Alliance to End Veteran Suicide. So definitely a show you want to tune into. Without that being said, Danny, do you have anything?
Yes, I have hair and you don't.
Wow.
Love you,
That's
Joe.
all I can say. All right. With that being said, everybody, have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you here Monday. Thanks for listening, and we love you. Have a good one. Bye, everybody.
We love you too, Joe.